My name's Grandmaster McLeod. I'm here with Grandmaster Dawn Callan. How you doing?
Hey, Doug.
It's been a while.
It has been 4 years.
That's right. Now, how long ago did you start taking lessons with me?
I started training with you, and this is going to give it away, when I was 30.
Oh.
So
9 years ago.
I wish. And I'm 64.
Huh.
So wandered into your school in Santa Cruz, had studied a little bit Choi Foot, which is where it started in LA, and then Hopgar, and we have stories to tell about David Chin.
Right.
And you took me under your wing.
Well, I remember one thing. I remember that your body wasn't real strong, but your mind was very strong. And that's one thing I always respected about you, because it's not about how big you are, it's not about how strong you are, it's about how your chi and your inner soul is, and I've always noticed that about you, and that's why it was always a pleasure working with you and also learning from you. You taught me too.
You know,
I learned a lot from you.
Over time it got very reciprocal. You know. But one of the things that I will always be grateful to you for is I'm not a very traditional person, although I believe that it's important to put your time in any system, because I came to you as trained as a dancer. And just like in dance, you learn the bar, you learn your ballet, and then you build from there. But you've got to have your basics that you were so insistent on, because I was all over the map, working on flexibility and talent alone. And you said, no, you got to ground it in your basics. So that I have brought into my ability to teach beginners. And basically we're always teaching beginners, except for our students that stay for the Life Mastery Series. The people that come in, most of them have never hit a lick before. But to be able to get them grounded in, this is yours, this you can always keep, this you can always go back to. You gave me that, and the other thing that you gave me was, even when after you had awarded me my black belt and I knew that I wasn't going to be a traditional teacher, you kept track of me. And every couple of years, Sifu McLeod would pop up and say, well, you've just been promoted. I said, I have? I said, on what basis? What level of contribution, service, commitment, and what you're giving back to the community. And the first time you did that, I was so blown away that this is really what this art is about. This is what to be in service to a cause bigger than yourself. I learned that from you, Doug, and that's a huge thing.
Well, thank you. Well, I believe that's an important part of martial arts. It's not just physical ability, it's giving to the community, it's giving back what you learned. You've always gave to other people like you're giving now, and you're helping people, you're saving people's lives. Also, I felt very blessed with my art. I learned one key thing, that by studying from a lot of different instructors, that I learned other perspectives. I always try to encourage you, even at my own school, to take lessons from other instructors. And I remember you introducing me to your instructor, David, and we went to Chinatown, and maybe you want to tell how much he liked me.
David was a piece of work. I don't know where he's disappeared to, but he, Hopgar.
Who's the founder of Hopgar?
Yeah. And very, very talented. And he actually, right after Doug and I went and visited him, he got run out of Chinatown for hanging out with us white folk, especially teaching white women. They didn't like it because the song came after him. And I was still in Santa Cruz at the time, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and there was a knock on my door, and I opened it, and there's David. He said, I've come to say goodbye. Haven't heard a thing from him since. But yeah, we went into Chinatown to meet him, and there was a little exchange of testosterone there. You might say he was pushing at you a little bit, because he considered me his student. He was kind of poking at Doug to see, well, what have you got?
Well, I would say one thing, as you notice, I just smiled and wouldn't let him push me. He thought I was there to take lessons. I was there just to see what you were doing. I think he misinterpreted, and I think maybe he was angry because I wasn't asking him for lessons, maybe. Not that he's not a good instructor and not that he would not help me, but I have, you know, goals in my life, and I was always interested in what you are doing and my other students are doing, and I don't know if that made him angry or not, but I know he said, I'm not teaching you, and I never asked him to teach me, and so... But,
David had a little bit of an ego.
But tell us some of the other instructors. Now, you studied from a friend of ours, Clint Mosley, and he was part of Yen Ching, actually. He was there for a long time.
Actually, I think I get the credit for bringing him in.
Exactly.
Credit or the blame, I'm not sure which.
Well, you asked me, and after I fought him, I said absolutely. I wasn't sure at first.
Yeah.
And then after I fought him, I felt he was a gentleman. Yeah.
He was. He had a bad reputation. I saw him hurt a few people, but somehow coming into that community, which was different than the community he was accustomed to hanging out with, the Kobukage community, he settled down a little bit. I think that there was a level of respect there that was different for him. Yeah.
He saw how we all intermixed, I think, too,
Yeah.
and how we were all like a family, and you didn't have to prove a point, and we accepted who he was, you know, and we respected his knowledge as well as he respected our knowledge, which was nice.
Well, one of the things that you are, and were then a master at, was the martial arts community. There's a lot of competition. People don't train, you know, if you want to do something like learn how to macrame, it's not the same as learning the arts. If you're attracted to that discipline, that immediately says something about your willingness to push your own edge and you know, come up against, and there's a very strong level of competition, and that was also true in your school in Santa Cruz, but you managed in a way that I'd never quite seen before to keep a lid on it and not let it get out of control. And there were, you know, I think it's just indigenous to what the arts are until you get to a certain level and you realize the good news is we'll never run out of something to learn.
Exactly.
And if I have it and you need it, you're welcome to it if you use it appropriately. But I don't think you get that first 3 or 4 years, or maybe even first black belt. I think that takes time in.
A black belt is basically an expert beginner, in my opinion, you know. And I knew you wanted to learn how to fight, and I thought anyone that you thought would be able to help you, Ross Abrams, anyone, I more than welcome you to take any route you wanted. I wanted you to feel comfortable and never have you think I was having an ego or upset about it. And that's one thing.
No, you always encouraged me, Doug. I mean, yeah, I never had the sense that.
And I'm sure you do that to your students.
Of course.
You know?
You know, my God, thank God there's more than one of us, you know, and that I think ultimately the destination is the same, but the way that we get there for each of us has got to be individual and unique. And if you restrict your students from exposing themselves to other art forms, then it means you lack confidence, which you never have. You were always really sure about who you were. And to be able to come from that place and not be threatened by any of the teachings, and you would occasionally remind me, great, you're doing all this, but if you want solid linear growth, pick one system, and that was you. And fine to, you know, take these other teachings, but pick one, focus on that.